Namaste everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel Roots of Analytics. In this session, we will see what is constraint, why we are using constraint. So we'll see what is constraint. So constraints in SQL are rules enforced on data columns in a table to limit the type of data that can go into the table. The primary purpose is to ensure the accuracy, reliability, and integrity of the data within the database. So basically, if you'll see, so when we are creating a table, so we are defining the column names. So when we are defining the column names, we are also assigning some data type to each and every column. So after data type, we can assign a constraint to each and every column. So basically what constraint does? So constraint basically will restrict the data that should go into a table. For an example, if I am restricting that there will be no null value in a particular table. So in that case, when we'll ingest data into that table, if we'll ingest any null value to that particular table, then it will return a error. So in that way, so we are defining a rule to each and every column when we are assigning some constraint to the column. Okay. So why constraints are used? Constraints are used to prevent invalid data, maintain the quality, enforce business rules. So prevent invalid data from being ingested into the database. For an example, if the data is not relevant and it should not enter into the existing table. So if we have used constraint for the table, then definitely as per the rules we have defined for each and every column, it will restrict those data to enter into a table. The second point is maintain the quality. Definitely when we will have all the correct data in a table, that means like the quality of the table and database will definitely increase, and the enforces business rules regarding data. So whatever business rules we are having regarding our data, it will always be maintained as we are defining the constraint for each and every column. That means like it will always hold the correct value for that column. So if any data manipulation violates a constraint, the action is aborted and an error is returned. For an example, I have assigned one constraint to a column and that is not null. And for an example, when I am inserting data into the table, I am trying to take null for that particular column. At that point, it will always return a error, and the ingestion which I am trying to do, that will fail. Similarly, if I am trying to update a data in a existing table, so at that case, if I am not the data which I am trying to ingest to that particular column, if it is not following the rules that's being defined for that column, then again it will return an error. So we have to understand whatever rules we have defined for that column in the form of constraint. Whenever we'll ingest the data, we have to see like what is the constraint we have used and what is the rule we have defined for that column. Based on that only we can ingest the data into that column. Similarly, so we can see what all types of constraints are there. So SQL supports several standard constraints like not null. So what not null does? Ensure a column cannot have null or empty value. Just now I have discussed. So not null ensures a column cannot have a null or empty value. Similarly, what unique does? The unique ensures all value in a column are different. For an example, if I am taking ID in a ID in a sales table, then definitely for each and every ID, the seller will be different. So like that. So if I want to put those entry for that particular table, I cannot take duplicate IDs or multiple names. That means like if I will maintain the unique constraint for that one, then definitely it will always take a unique value. So if you will try to ingest any duplicate data for that column, then it will return an error. Similarly, what is primary key? So primary key combination of not null and unique. That means like the primary key cannot be null and it will always have a unique value for each and every record. Okay. So similarly, foreign key nothing but links two table together by enforcing a relationship between the data in one table and the data in another table. It ensures referential integrity. So what it is saying? So it is saying like, so foreign key basically we are using to establish a relation between two existing table. For an example, I am having two table. One is order table, another is like customer table. So if I want to maintain one relation between these two tables, I should have one foreign key so that we can map both the table. So we'll see in depth in our next session what is primary key and foreign key. As of now, I'll be covering what is not null, unique, check, default, index. When I'm writing when I'll create a table, definitely I'll show like how to use primary key and foreign key. But for primary key and foreign key, there will be a separate session where I will explain what is primary key, what is foreign key, and why we are using these keys and why these keys are so important in SQL. So we'll see in our next session. So I think you should have like that much of idea, or like primary key, it is combination of not null and unique. That means like it will always have some value in that column, and all the records will be unique for for each and every row. Similarly, for foreign key links two tables together by enforcing a relation. So definitely it is like what it is like doing. It is like acting as a bridge between two existing table, and using this foreign key we are establishing a relation between the two existing table, where like the relation will be one will be the parent table, another one will be the child table. So those concept we'll see in future. So what is check constraint? Check ensures that all values in a column satisfy a specific condition. So for an example, it's given over here, age should greater than 18. Similarly, default, set a default value for a column when no value is specified during an insert operation. So if you are taking the Reliance Trend for an example, and it is being operated like pan India. So in that case, like you can set a default value for the country column where the values will be India for each and every row. In that case also, we can use a default constraint, and we can define a column by using a default constraint. Then what is index? Used to create indexes in table to retrieve data from the database faster. So if I am assigning the indexes for to each and every rows we are having in our database, then definitely we'll get the faster results when we will try to retrieve the data from the database. So in that, for that reason, we are always using the index constraint. So these are the constraints we have discussed. Now we'll see by doing practical how it is impacting our table and how it is impacting our database. And when we're trying to ingest some data into the database, where like the table is being created using constraint, in that case, like how it is behaving, like what all results we are getting from the database. Now we'll see in this table like how constraint is used. So in this table, I have already created one table called constraint practice, and here I have taken 5 columns. In the first columns, I have taken the column name as ID, and then I have taken the data type for that column. Then I have taken the constraint. Similarly, in the second column, the column name I have taken country, the data type I have taken varchar, and the default value which I have taken, that is integer. Sorry, India. So here the default is the constraint. So mobile number I have taken as big int, and it is unique. So for each and every record, the mobile number should unique. The product ID I have taken integer and I have taken it as not null. So the product ID cannot be null. And the age I have taken so integer and I have created check. Check I have taken. This is the constraint I have used check. And here the condition I have taken, that is age should greater than 18. So these are the constraint I have used to create the table. So we have already created this table. So for that reason, it is showing like table cannot be created. So now we'll see by ingesting data into this table, like how we can ingest data, like when we have used constraint to create one table. So let's see. So insert into in table name. Here table name is constraint practice. Then I have to take I have to take the column details. So the first column is our ID. So here ID is a primary key. So the value of each and every line item should be different. So it should be unique in nature, like each and every value should be unique and it cannot be null. So this is the main requirement of a primary key. Then second thing is like country. So country I have taken default like that. Like if I will not take any value for country, then it will trigger India as the value. So similarly, I'm going to ignore country over here. So I will take mobile here. So the mobile number, then I will take the product ID, then I will take the age. So and let's see how it is working. Now we'll try to give the data. So I want to take 01 as the data. Then mobile number I want to give 993783, something like that. Then I will take the product ID. Here the product ID I have taken 101. Then age I have taken here 19. So let's close it. So if I will execute this query, before that I have to write values. So if I'll write this query, it will, let's write execute this query. We'll see like one row affected. If I'll check, select star from constraint practice. So you will see all this data ingested into the table. So here I have not taken India, anything like for the country column, I have not taken here when I was ingesting the data, but still the data is here in this line item. So it is automatically, it is the default value which I have taken, like any row I will ingest over here. If I will not mention any value for this country column, then automatically it will consider it as India. That is the default value which I have taken. So if we want, we should take like what all other constraints we have used over here, then default, then unique, then integer. So this is one like check. So if I will ingest 18, then how it will take. So again, I will use this insert into. So I want to give here 0 to 84 and 102, and here I will take 17 and we'll see like if it is allowing me to insert the data or not. So when I'm executing this query, what it is saying, the insert statement conflicted with the check constraint. That means like the condition which I have taken at the time of check constraint, it is not satisfying that condition. The age should greater than and or equal to 18. And the age I have taken over here at the time of data ingestion, that is 17. For that reason, it is returning error stating like the data which you have taken, that is not satisfying the constraint of that particular column. So in this way, we'll always have correct data. So, and for that reason, we'll have quality data in the table. That's all for this session. We'll see you in next session. And if you are having any doubt, please put those doubts in the comment box. Definitely, I'll go through those comments and if required, I'll bring some new video on those on your comments. Thanks for watching. Take care.